All right, let's dive into a really powerful idea today. What if the next great cultural leap forward doesn't happen in our big, shiny cities? What if it's happening right now in the quiet, forgotten towns we left behind? And what if it's all being powered by a technology that we're only just beginning to understand? So let's start with this quote, because it's a bit of a puzzle, right? The core idea here is that if a frontier looks obvious, if it's got billboards and everyone's talking about it, well, it's probably not a frontier anymore. It's already been captured. So what if the places we're all told to go to find success are actually just traps, and the real wide open spaces are hiding where nobody's even looking? Okay, so first up, the captured frontiers. This section is all about challenging our biggest assumptions about where you're supposed to go to make it big.
Think about it like this. Those major hubs we all know, LA, Silicon Valley, New York, they aren't really wild frontiers anymore. The argument is that they're captured systems. It's like playing a slot machine in a casino. Yeah, a few people hit the jackpot, and those wins are blasted everywhere, making it feel like anyone can win. But that just sucks more people in, encouraging them to pour their lives, their energy, their money into what the author calls a great machine. And it often comes at a huge personal cost.
So why do we even need a new frontier in the first place? Well, the source for this explainer pinpoints a core issue it calls the Fontenot Problem, and it explains it with this really strange, unforgettable story from a small Louisiana town back in the 1950s. So picture this. Every single spring, this man named Fontenot would escape from the local asylum and, well, make it through town. But here's the thing. The community didn't freak out. They actually had a system. A call would go out over the party lines, Fontenot is out. And get this, the entire town would get involved. It turned into this weird, kind of wonderful community event. People would gather on their porches, watch the whole spectacle unfold, and eventually, the orderlies would show up. And in the story, after Fontenot is safely taken away, the homeowner whose yard he ran through brings out biscuits and coffee for everyone. The mess, the inconvenience of Fontenot, that was the very thing that brought everyone together. But you know, decades later, everything changed. The asylum was shut down. These abstract, efficient state systems took over. The problem of Fontenot was solved. But in making things more efficient, the very reason for the town to gather, that shared, wild human moment, it was just erased. And this leads to the story's really gut punch of a conclusion. We thought that by outsourcing all our messy human problems to these perfect, clean systems, we'd arrive at some amazing automated future. But instead, as the author puts it so well, we arrived nowhere alone. Okay, so this is what it all boils down to. The Fontenot problem is our deep-seated desire to build systems that get rid of inconvenience, especially the messy inconvenience of dealing with other people. But in the process, we accidentally get rid of the very things that give our lives meaning. It's this kind of social entropy. As our technology solves more and more problems, it can also slowly, quietly pull us all apart. But here's where it pivots. How does this problem actually create a massive opportunity? The argument is that this cultural decay we're feeling, it isn't an ending. It's actually the fertile ground for a new beginning, a kind of modern renaissance. And to get this, we just have to look at history. You know, what's wild is that the original Renaissance didn't kick off in Paris, which was the cultural capital of the 1400s. Nope, it exploded in Florence, a place that was basically considered a backwater at the time. A brand new technology, the printing press, came along and just blew the doors open on knowledge, sparking this creative fire far away from the center of power. And this slide just lays out the parallel perfectly. The forgotten middle places of today, they could be our new Florence. And our crazy disruptive new technology isn't the printing press, which distributed knowledge. It's artificial intelligence, which can distribute intelligence and craft itself. So, if we have a new frontier and a new world-changing technology, who's going to lead the way? Who is the kind of person that thrives in this new world? Well, the source proposes a totally new kind of creative archetype for our time. We need to meet the Cyborg Rhapsode. It's a cool name, right? It combines two powerful ideas. Cyborg, for someone who seamlessly integrates technology into their life and their work, and Rhapsode, which is a nod to the ancient Greek storytellers who would wander from town to town holding entire epic poems in their memory. It's all about merging the brand new with the ancient. This breaks it down perfectly. The cyborg side of you has its head in the stars, mastering these incredible cutting-edge tools. But the Rhapsode side keeps your feet in the dirt. It keeps you grounded in real, physical, lived experience. The big idea here is that real, meaningful art happens when you take a primary human vision and you translate it through a powerful new technology. Of course, I know what you're probably thinking, because this raises the biggest, most common objection out there. We look at so much of the AI-generated stuff today, and it just feels empty, derivative, what the author perfectly calls slop. So how on earth can this tool lead to a renaissance?
The response is that the tool isn't the problem, it's actually a test of our character. And this quote just nails it. New technology just reveals who we really are. It shows that a lot of people would rather be seen as being creative than actually do the hard work of creation. So the challenge isn't about building a safe AI. The real challenge is for creators with a real vision to wrestle this powerful new tool to the ground and use it to make something undeniably beautiful.
And this brings us to the final and maybe most important point. The call to action. If the old frontiers are captured and a new one is just starting to open up, where exactly is it?
The new frontier is in the abandoned middle places, all those forgotten towns, those graveyards of old hopes and dreams. The essay argues that these places are actually the rich, fertile topsoil of our culture. And the logic behind it is simple and beautiful. It's kind of borrowed from farming. Where there is death and decay, there is always the potential for vibrant new life.
And so, the mission for any of us who want to be a cyborg rhapsode becomes crystal clear. It's like a modern myth. The goal is to steal the fire of technology from the gods of Silicon Valley and bring it back down to earth, back to your home, your community, to create something new and real from the soil of what's been forgotten. And that leaves us with this final, really provocative question. This whole idea isn't about trying to predict the next big tech hub. In fact, the point is that there won't be a single one. It's all going to be decentralized. The frontier is just an empty space on the map, waiting for you to build something. So the only question left to ask yourself is, where is your new Florence?